Hello and welcome to the Guitar Collection. In my lap here today is a guitar by the German luthier Felix Müller. It is a Cedar Doubletop guitar, and it is largely in the style of his father's instruments, the very famous Antonius Müller. Now, while I think you'll be able to hear and see that this guitar is very similar to his father's instruments, I think they have their own unique sound signature, as well as some departures aesthetically as well, that really make this guitar unique and unique to Felix, of course. So, about this guitar, sound-wise, right off the bat, the thing that impresses me most about this instrument is kind of two or threefold here. It's the volume. It's insane. It's out of the whole collection here, it's one of the loudest guitars that I have, if not the loudest. In some ways, volume is subjective. I'm not talking about decibels. I'm talking about the way the sound carries and the perceived volume. It's really something. Also, it's evenness. And I can even demonstrate for you here. If I play on the first string on just a chromatic scale, nice and slowly, every single note is so even. Now, of course, when you get up to the last four frets, these are not going to sound like the fifth fret or something. But on a lot of instruments, on especially a lot of very loud and powerful instruments, you're going to have certain notes that are just less powerful than others, and then certain notes that just pop out like crazy. And it may not be something you think about right away, or may not even notice or be able to articulate, but when you're playing the instrument, you often feel like you can't control it. Like, oh, why do I sound good on this chord and then this chord? Everything pops out and is very difficult. I'm using this example because a lot of times the A here will pop out an insane amount. But on this instrument, oh my gosh, first fret through like the 15th fret, everything is so even. Can you hear it? I'm not adjusting my attack on any note. This is something that some luthiers spend their entire life trying to achieve. And Felix Müller, at the time of making this video, is a very young luthier, and he's already accomplished this, which is amazing. By the way, it's not just on the first string, but the second string is like this as well. Third string. Fourth string. Fifth string. And sixth string. Now, while I may have succeeded in making the most boring little demonstration ever, and while this may just seem like a statistical measurement, really, for some people, I think you won't believe it until you actually play this instrument, how nice it is to have every note sound so even. And then also, when every note sound and sustain and attack and everything is even, it makes changes musically so easy. So you can imagine, if you're trying to play, a C major scale, there's a melody where you're trying to do a crescendo, right? Maybe you start really quiet, and then you end up being forte, right? When you can predict the volume of every one of those notes, it makes musical gestures so easy. So anyways, I won't nerd out about this too long, but that's one of the things that stands out so much to me. And then the colors on this instrument are so nice. Sometimes you can criticize some double-top guitars as being overly dark. That is not a characteristic of this instrument. You have really deep basses and dark basses when you want them to be. But when you move your hand, gosh, this is a characteristic of some of the best double tops. you move your hand, you can brighten it up very easily and predictably. So in a minute here, I'm going to be playing a few different pieces and sound samples here for you to better know this guitar. But before I get to doing that and describing the specs of this instrument, I want to remind you to subscribe to this channel. I looked at the statistics yesterday and I saw that 88% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed. So if you could, go ahead and log in, hit subscribe. I would love to see you on future videos. Leave a comment, let me know what you think about these guitars, and let me know if you're looking for a guitar like this. This exact guitar is spoken for, but I may have another one of these soon. So please write to me if you're looking for one, and I may be able to locate one for you. And for that matter, if you go on the website, guitarcollection.com, you'll find a box where you can enter in your email, and I'll let you know about instruments before they go publicly available on the website or before there's a video posted like this one. So before I get to some sound samples of this guitar, like you heard in the intro, just a brief overview of the specs here. This is a Cedar Doubletop with a balsa interior, something that was really pioneered by Antonius Müller. You can actually see it in the right light. Actually, can you see that as I tilt the guitar? You probably can see this like chevroning pattern. Those are little strips of balsa wood in between two layers of really thin cedar. And that is largely what is responsible for making this powerful, responsive sound that you hear. It has a raised fingerboard, as you can see. Not super dramatically raised. I would say it's an average raised fingerboard. It has this beautiful green rosette with touches of green all around the guitar. This is slightly different than his father's guitars. You'll see green here, and you'll see green here on the tie block, and you'll see green on the binding. And I have to say, it's just the right amount. It's not so green to where you're just like, I don't know, sometimes when there's too much of one color, it makes me a little bit nauseous. That is not how I feel on this guitar. It has a super low action, very easy to play. I have to say that the neck is very C-shaped, which if you've been following this channel, you might already know I'm a big fan of this. The back and sides are Indian rosewood, although gosh, doesn't it look like something even more exotic with that light strip down the middle? It looks really great. And besides that, the headstock, I think, wow, I hope I'm right, but I think it is near identical to Antonius Müller, his father's headstock here. A very nice rounded design with, as when you look closer, has a little bit more detail. Anyhow, that's enough about the specs of this guitar. Let's play a few different musical examples here and listen to how it sounds. Thanks so much for watching.